In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 13 life lessons I wish I knew when I was a teenager. If I followed this advice a lot sooner, maybe I wouldn't be bald. Maybe I'd be a multi-millionaire at 33. Maybe I wouldn't be shooting these single at 30 videos.
How many breakups have you gone through, bro?
Not that many, but...
And I know what you might be saying. Well, Kevin, you're so much older. How would you know? Well, this is what my life looked like at 18. Hey, what up, high school Kevin? Hey, Uncle Kevin. I'm about to drink my boba and do some of my homework. How are you? Have you thought about what you want to do for the rest of your life? All right, Kevin. Just say doctor, lawyer, engineer. I don't know yet. Damn it, you had one job. Oh, no? Man, you don't want to be broke like your Uncle Homeless Joe.
I love watching TV.
Anyways, I'll see you later. Man, I don't want to be like homeless Uncle Joe. I better look online to see what careers are out there. Highest paying careers. OnlyFans? I was lost. I'll go on long midnight walks by myself asking the question, what am I doing with my life? I felt this looming uncertainty and pressure just to figure out my life by myself. Coming from an Asian family, there was no strong father figure or mentor in my life to really guide me. I'm 33 years old, and so I got about 15 years of life experience, everything from dating, losing a parent, pursuing a career as a pharmacist, and also leaving that career to just start my own online business. So I wanted to share the 13 most important life lessons to that 18-year-old self who is so lost. Everything that I'm going to be sharing with you will be ultra specific, unique, experience-based, and something you can apply literally this weekend. So let's get into it. Number 1, take more photos than you think you should. Confession, I actually stole this from Ali Abdaal.
You really want to be taking lots more photos than you think you should.
When you're in the moment, it doesn't seem like a big deal. And hell, if you're anything like me, you probably feel awkward asking to take a group photo. But as a 33-year-old, there's nothing more nostalgic than traveling back into memory lane. The one thing I didn't realize when I was younger is that all relationships come to an inevitable end. We choose to end them or life ends them for us. I know it's a bit grim, but over the years I've experienced the loss of the people around me. The only thing I have left of them are these photos and videos I took so long ago. Truth is, you can't go back in time to recreate that moment. That's what makes these moments so special. So rather than tell yourself, appreciate the people around you, taking a photo is a great way to capture that moment. And plus, you can send it to your friends, family, or anyone so that they can keep the memory too. Number 2, buy an air fryer. As I talk to people who are a lot older than me or my friends who are also in their 30s, all the years of drinking and doing cocaine have really caught up with them. But one of the best things I've ever invested into was an air fryer. One of the most difficult parts about staying healthy is that it's really hard to find the time to meal prep and beating out the convenience of something like fast food. An air fryer not only helps you save money from going out to eat all the time, it's the first step to thinking a little bit differently. Whether you decide to be a vegan in the future or stick to a carnivore diet or go on a strict keto diet, it's probably something that you will use in the future. Lesson number 3.
Firstly, think about the game that you're playing and think about what are the victory conditions of that game.
One of the biggest regrets I had during my teenage years was working harder than necessary. There's a lot of benefits of working really hard, but sometimes I ask myself, Kevin, did you really need to be that overachieving Asian? I don't think so. We can sometimes forget there's a life outside the daily assignments, lectures, and internships. We forget that there are college experiences that you can only get once. Looking back, I probably didn't need to study 24/7 in the computer lab like I did in pharmacy school. Then it would have gave me the freedom to spend a little bit more time with my friends and be a little unapologetic about just living life. If it's intimidating to think about the end goal, you're not stuck with that decision for life. Your goals will naturally change as you grow, and they should grow as you grow. For example, when I finished pharmacy school and was practicing pharmacy as a pharmacist, school was no longer the game I was playing. I picked the new game of being able to start an online business. It's a good thing if you grow out of your goals, and they should evolve as you grow too. Lesson number 4, ask, what would support look like for you? Something I wish that someone taught me was how to have difficult conversations. Because growing up in an Asian family, rarely did we ever talk about our issues. So for me, I always got anxiety from difficult conversations, or when there was conflict with my relationships, friendships, or colleagues at work, I didn't really know how to manage it and manage my anxiety that I got. A lot of times I felt my own survival state, my fight, flight, or freeze response would come in. And if I didn't handle the situation properly, it would trigger their survival state too. So what I've learned over the years is that the fastest way to de-escalate any situation is to ask, what would support look like for you? Learning how to empathize is probably one of the biggest superhero powers I've learned. Typically, when you're trying to understand someone, they probably don't want to attack you. If I did this so much more, especially in my romantic relationships, I probably wouldn't be single at 33. It's always a really nice way to end any conversation with this when you're first meeting someone. Number 5. Find a confidant you can trust when life gets tough. Something I wish I did a lot sooner was to get professional help, especially after the breakup with my ex or death of my dad. As a result of not fixing these problems earlier, I built out these really unhealthy coping mechanisms. Most people will tell you you should get therapy as soon as possible. But the truth is, not everybody's ready for something like that. And especially if you're coming from an Asian background, a lot of time people will frown against therapy and just be like, I don't need therapy, you need therapy.
You think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy.
And that's okay. I found 1 or 2 people who I always felt comfortable with, and I reached out to them when times were hard. But just keep in mind, while talking to friends does help with the loneliness, it can be therapeutic, but the truth is, it's not therapy. Am I saying that therapy will help you fix all your emotional problems? Hell no. The thing is, it takes time, lots of it. And I'll be real, I'm still a work in progress. But the one thing I will say is that it's okay to ask for help. In Asian culture, things like talking about your emotions, your mental health, or seeking a therapist is taboo. But the truth is, going to things like therapy doesn't make you a bitch. I've been down the route of suicidal ideation. I know how much pressure it can be just bearing it all by yourself. If you ever have thoughts of this, or if you end up here, just know that you don't have to do everything alone. Even when you feel alone, it doesn't mean that you're actually alone. There's actually a lot of people who have come into my life who genuinely want to help. And to be honest, I wouldn't be there if I didn't have those people in my life. Lesson number 6, start investing into index funds to be the top 3%.
In order for you to get to above $5 million, so not even top 1%, top 0.3%, you got to save like 15 grand a year for 30 years. That's it. And that's assuming just 9% returns, which is just the stock market.
This breaks down into investing about $1,250 per month. I know that most 18-year-olds aren't making that much, but let's pretend that you start now and you're 18. With the power of compound interest, you can be retired at 48 with 5 million. I know what you're saying. Really, Kevin? Index funds? Well, why would I do that if I can invest into Bitcoin, NFTs, crypto? And I'm not telling you not to invest in those, but index funds are so simple. You don't really need to think too much about them. You just need to focus on shoveling your money in. And once you have a really great foundation, feel free to invest in other investments. You can literally start today by opening something as simple as a Roth IRA. I actually have a free course to do that at kickassinvesting.com/masterclass. Start now and don't touch the money. You won't regret it. Lesson number 7. Sign up for a jiu-jitsu class. When my father passed away, it was really tough finding a reason to get up in the morning. It wasn't until I signed up for jiu-jitsu where it gave me a reason to wake up at 6 a.m. to train with my friends, and I built that consistency in my life. I wish I started sooner. The beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is like oftentimes you'll go to a gym, you'll see a small 100-pound girl, but little do you know, she's a protege and she will wreck the 200, even 300-pound gorillas in the gym with a simple leg lock. And that's the beauty of it. It's super technical. Every single time I see a move, I always learn another detail that I never saw before. It teaches me to stay humble and to always keep on learning and improve my craft. It works the mind and teaches you a lot about life, whether it's about grit, discipline, consistency, or humbleness. We all have those days where we get crushed and we just want to tap due to, because we're tired. But jiu-jitsu teaches you how to stay calm even in the most chaotic conditions. It's really taught me how to be patient when teaching newbies, but it's also taught me to be open to learning from others because the strategy, the game, it's always changing. It's also helped me to work smarter, not harder, and stay focused and patient with my long-term goals and not to let the short-term setbacks get in the way. Plus, jiu-jitsu is the only sport where you can actually meet people, make friends, and choke them out that same day, and it's still okay. Finally, there is no better feeling than hitting a triangle on your girlfriend when she asks you to choke her in bed. She'll never see it coming. And this is probably why I'm single at 33. Oh my God. Lesson number 8, shoot a how-to video on your YouTube channel. The best thing I've ever done was start a YouTube channel. Oftentimes in school, we're taught about things that don't really benefit us for the rest of our life. And if you're anything like me, you might finish the school system and ask yourself, what am I actually good at? We learn things like trigonometry, calculus, or how most of Shakespeare was written in iambic rhythm. But rarely do I ever learn useful things like skill sets. And sure, could we read books about personal finance, marketing, or business? Yeah, the truth is that's boring and it's not always the best way to learn. So what's a better way to learn a bunch of new skill sets? Through this YouTube channel, I've learned things like copywriting, speaking, scripting, storytelling, product development, email marketing, digital marketing, and there's a lot more. But while the skill sets are cool, this YouTube channel has helped me meet more friends, and it's led to business relationships, romantic relationships, and platonic relationships. It's also one of those few things that I find truly fulfilling in my life. And plus, it's also really cool when you start making money with your YouTube channel. It's passive income. It's a really cool way to get to that $1,200 per month with those index funds. But I think the most important thing about starting a YouTube channel is that it allowed me to just document where I was in my life when I look back. As I look back over my 33 years, I laugh at my 28-year-old self. I laugh at my 21-year-old self to see how ratchet and crazy I was at that time. And just to really go down memory lane and just appreciate how far I've come. It's one thing to reflect on your growth, but it's another thing to completely see it. And plus, it is a great excuse to take more photos and videos of you and your friends so you can add it into a B-roll like this. One of the best ways to start a YouTube video is just teaching something you just learned. Keep it simple. Hell, you can shoot on your iPhone and not even edit it. This is a great way to help that younger version of yourself and people who are in your position. Lesson number 9. Take a StrengthFinder 2.0 test. It's also the best $50 I've ever invested. It's kind of like a DNA fingerprint for your strengths. Even if you have the same strengths as your friends, they'll read differently. It tells you exactly what industries that you'd be amazing at. See, growing up with my dad, I was always told that I was never good enough, just like most Asian families.
My daughter's so fat, so skinny, you need to eat more.
And for a period of time, I actually believed that I wasn't really good at anything. It was really, really hard, and I couldn't even take compliments from people. So when I discovered the test StrengthFinders 2.0, it helped me. It's so accurate that they use it at the major consulting companies and Fortune 500 companies as well. So for me, it was doing things like sales, healthcare, marketing, storytelling, and consulting, which is probably why I gravitated toward those things. And if I knew those things a lot earlier, I could align my college life and everything else more toward my strengths. Lesson 10. Learn to ask, would it be helpful before offering advice or active service? So have you ever gotten unsolicited advice from someone?
Sit straight, no shaky leg.
The truth is, no one likes unsolicited advice. When I was a lot younger though, I would give this all the time. I remember being 18 and I just wanted to help people. And maybe also there's a bit of me that subconsciously wanted to prove that I was really smart to other people. What I've learned is that over the years, whether it's selling a $15,000 product or trying to help your best friend, asking permission is a key. And the truth is, you can give advice all day, but if no one implements your advice, that means nothing. All you gotta do is ask something as simple as this. Would it be helpful if I could give a recommendation? Or would it be helpful if I did XYZ? When you do this, people really appreciate it. You won't be assuming what they need.
I got some smart water, and if you feeling fancy, I got the Perrier.
I'm good right now.
And plus, it'll save you time and resources from doing things that were unnecessary in the first place. And plus, it opens up the discussion about what the other person would find really, really valuable. Lesson number 11. Set up a deep focus session every single week. Have you ever felt like you didn't have enough time to do the things that you actually care about? Something that I started doing during my college years was something called a deep focus session. It'd be kind of like a work date for every Sunday that I would do. This is a time where I'll plan what I need to get done in the week and actually get ahead on my work. I would go to a bougie coffee shop on a Sunday morning and just block out a good 3 hours to plan and work. What I've learned through these sessions is if you want something, take one small step today. It kills procrastination. I also have a video on my 2-hour deep focus sessions too, if you want to give it a shot. Lesson 12. If you like someone, shoot your shot. I'm 33 and I'm single. You probably don't want to be like me. In the past, there were a lot of girls that I liked and I hesitated. At the time, I was so worried about what would happen to our friendship. What if she doesn't like me back? What if my friends don't like her? None of those things matter at all. Maybe it's an excuse that school comes first and I don't want to where I eat in terms of pharmacy school. The real truth was I was scared to express my feelings and tell how I felt. What I realized that if you tell someone that you like them, it's not going to end the relationship or your friendship. Most of the time, they're going to just tell you they don't feel the same way. That's okay. But what I also realized is that a lot of times they were often mutual. I've had these conversations with a few girls years and years later, and I asked them, would I have ever had a shot? And then they're like, yeah, but you never asked. While regret is a really feeling, at the time, no one really taught me how to date. No one taught me what a healthy relationship was. And I'm actually reading this really great book, How to Not Die Alone, on how to actually date and learn how to be in a really healthy relationship. Sometimes we put so much emphasis on our career when in reality, none of that matters. All the money in the world doesn't matter if you don't have anyone to spend it with. Don't neglect your dating life. Shoot your shot if you like someone. Lesson number 13. If you feel like you're falling behind, it's normal. We have this idea that we should have everything figured out in life from the beginning. I know I felt this when I was 18 years old, and I know I feel it to this day when I'm 33. The truth is, if you feel lost, it's actually a good sign. It's actually an opportunity for us to go back and really think deeply about what we actually want. How unrealistic is it for you to come straight out from high school and just have everything figured out from day one? Chances are you probably never had the chance to think for yourself or explore what you want to do. And finding what you want to do is kind of like dating. How do you know what you want if you never dated before? Something I wish someone told me or reminded me about is that it's okay to not know what you want. It's a normal part of life. But we just need to trust that we're smart enough to figure it out and to be open enough to let life provide its opportunities for us as we grow older. But the one danger that a lot of people do when trying to find themselves is falling into the trap of thinking that, if we make more money, all these feelings will disappear. We're gonna feel better and we'll actually start feeling ahead. But this couldn't be further from the truth. See, when I was a pharmacist, I was making $150K per year. But I still felt empty on the inside. Not gonna lie, I felt like a mercenary every single day, doing things for money. So if you want to avoid this mistake, I suggest that you watch my video on why I left the 150K corporate career. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video where I talk more about authentic selling, personal development, or building relationships. Stay compassionate, stay authentic, stay rebellious. Peace.